So let's get started. You are in an accident. You call me up. You go, hey, you're insured, hit my vehicle and I want money. I say, well, at this point it is a disputed claim. I do need to do further investigation. I may need to get a police report. I have not accepted liability. Let's have a discussion about how it's the claimant's sole responsibility to mitigate damages and cost. And you are the claimant. You say, okay, but I don't know what that means. Mitigation of damages means that you must do whatever is necessary to contain the cost and damages while we investigate. The insurance companies and self-insured for claims only owe for the damages that were incurred on the date of loss that was directly related to our insured's liability. So we want to, as we investigate, we want to make sure that you are mitigating your damages. If that means going through your own insurance, that's what it means. If you do not have rental coverage on your policy, I will tell you that when you got your insurance, you looked at your finances, you saw that you could afford not to have rental coverage. If for some reason you were in an accident that was your fault, or that there needed to be an investigation for disputed liability, you considered that and you said that you could financially afford covering rental. That was your choice on your policy. You could have gotten rental coverage if you wanted, but you decided not to. So I'm not going to provide you a rental car. Mitigation of damages covers paid storage. You will need to remove it to someplace where there is no charges, like your home, or you will need to remove it to a auto repair shop. Typically they'll roll in the storage and tow bills into their final estimate. So we need to take a look at if your, let's say, windshield was busted. You need to make sure that the weather can't get into your vehicle to cause more damage. If you feel your car's not drivable, or if there's more damage occurring because you're driving it, you need to stop that immediately. And all of this is done because we're investigating the claim. We're essentially putting a pause, and insurance companies are allowed to do that. You know, the reason being is because we may not accept liability at all. And then you may be in a situation where you can't get your vehicle out of paid storage because it's just too much money. You know, you have to think about that. Or we might be in a situation where it's comparative negligence, where we're only going to pay part of the repairs and tow and storage, and we're only going to pay part of any loss of use. So that's why we have a discussion with you right at the beginning of the claim for mitigation of damages. Usually it's followed up in writing. Everything is explained. So you need to consider this when you're buying your insurance. You need to consider if you are in a claim, if it's disputed, if there's an investigation, maybe you're at fault. You know, maybe even, you know, you're driving along and something happens and you run into a tree or go into a ditch. You know, you need to consider this when you get your insurance. I always advise that you have a low deductible, high policy limits. The policy limits will protect your assets